Big injury news today in Allen Park.
You are Locked On Lions, your daily Detroit Lions podcast. Part of the Locked On Podcast Network, your team every day.
What's good, everybody? Matt Derry with you on a Friday edition of Locked On Lions right here on the Locked On Podcast Network, your team every day. Today is Friday, July 26th, and the weekend and July 27th on a Saturday tomorrow, where the Lions will have their first practice open to the public. There will be some fans down there for Saturday's workout. Thanks for making us your first listen and checking us out wherever you get your podcasts. Shout out to our everydayers who are out there that watch or listen every day. That includes my man, Alex Murphy. He's an everydayer, as is Maggie Sorensen. Maggie says we, must be her and her husband or boyfriend or whomever, significant other, watch the show each and every day. Thanks for doing that. Following us on Twitter at Derry Speaks, at Locked On Lions, Matt Derry Facebook fan page. And please subscribe and watch us for free each and every day on our Locked On Lions YouTube channel. On the show today, we're going to talk about the Money Badger out for the year. Pretty big, significant injury here as the kicking competition. Do I need to break out my sheet again? Woohoo! 4 years of talking about kickers. Oh, yeah, we're going to keep going. We'll get into that coming up momentarily. Some observations from training camp today, day 3. Also, Jerry Jacobs has found a new home. We will get into that coming up momentarily. It's a team that the Lions are going to see very early on in this season. And 5 bold predictions from the NFC North that I saw today that I thought were very, very interesting. We'll get into that as well coming up right here on Locked On Lions. Today's show brought to you by LinkedIn. LinkedIn Jobs helps you find the qualified candidates you want to talk to faster. Post your job for free at linkedin.com/LockedOnNFL. That's linkedin.com/LockedOnNFL to post your job for free. Terms and conditions apply. So Dan Campbell hit the podium today before practice and had some rather big news. And that is that Michael Badgley, known as the Money Badger, veteran kickers, been around 3 different times with the Lions over the last few years, done for the year. He will have a surgery to repair a torn hamstring that he injured before practice yesterday. So Michael Badgley out, off the team. Well, not off the team, but on injured reserve. And that means that the lone kicker left on this roster right now, the pride of the Michigan Panthers, the UFL legend, Mr. 60 yards, Jake Bates, is your kicker today on July 26th. Now, Lions said they're going to bring in some kickers to work out and to certainly take Badgley's roster spot and have a kicking competition, because you can't just hand the competition over to a guy that's never done it before. Certainly the Cowboys was a real outlier last year when they brought in the soccer player, and he was as good a kicker as there was in the league. But Jake Bates has kicked at the UFL level and at the high school level. He didn't even kick in college. So you got to bring somebody else in. Many of you will ask, well, who's out there? Well, not that many people. All right. Randy Bullock, who was in training camp with the Lions years ago, and Brad Holmes cut back in, what year was that? 2021, when it started off as Bullock versus Matthew Wright. Randy Bullock is currently not on a team. Another guy to keep an eye on is Cade York. Cade York was the Browns kicker. They drafted him, was it last year or 2 years ago? No, last year the Browns drafted, 2 years ago, I believe, they drafted Cade York, and he did not work out. They brought in Dustin Hopkins last year, and he was so much better, and they signed him to an extension, but York is still on the roster. But if Cade York gets cut at any point here, I'm sure the Lions would take a look. This is a guy that had a very good leg in college. Again, was a drafted kicker, but struggled the last couple of years in Cleveland and then lost the job to Hopkins last year. Andre Schmidt is an interesting name. All right. Spelled Szymt. Spent 5 years at Syracuse, my alma mater, but never has kicked at the NFL level other than getting a little bit of a look from the Chicago Bears. But Andre Schmidt reportedly is in town and working out for the Lions, and they're taking a look at him. Schmidt's interesting because last year with the UFL's St. Louis Battlehawks, he was the top kicker in the UFL. 19 out of 21 on field goals, including a long of 61. So reports are out there. Mike Payton was one from A to Z Sports and a couple others that Schmidt was going to get a tryout from the Lions. Also, we have seen the name Matt McCrane, another former UFL kicker that could be a possibility with the Lions. I'm going full circle for a second. I'm going full circle. Watch what I think Brad Holmes is going to do. Look, they're going to sign one of these other UFL guys or Randy Bullock or somebody soon. All right. Heck, bring Jason Hansen out of retirement. But I think you need to watch what is happening in the fine city in northern Florida of Jacksonville. What if Riley Patterson, hear me out, what if Riley Patterson loses the job in a competition down in Jacksonville to Will Little, the rookie? If Riley Patterson doesn't win the Jacksonville job, you know Brad Holmes is going to bring him back. Come on, you got to bring Riley back for what would this be? How many times? I got my trusty kicker list here that I always keep with me. Riley Patterson was on the Lions in 2021 and 2023. So this would be a third stint for him as well. I don't think he was on the team in 2022 because the kickers that I have listed are Austin Seibert, Dominic Eberle, Badgley, Aldrich Rosas, and Sam Ficken, ex of Penn State. Here's the thing. And yes, I will repeat myself for the 5 millionth time here on Locked On Lions. Lions just can't find a kicker. Brad Holmes should be bronzed. The guy is phenomenal. He's as good of a GM as this town has ever seen in terms of taking a lousy franchise and elevating it to a Super Bowl contender. Brad Holmes knows talent. He drafts like he's a cheetah in the draft room. The turnaround with this franchise and what Brad Holmes has done as general manager is off the charts. But they can never, ever find a kicker. Ever. It's crazy. Hold on, let me do it again here. 2021, they started the year with, I believe, Austin Seibert. Same with 22. Last year it was Patterson for 13 games. This is crazy. Yeah. Just watch. Watch them bring Riley Patterson back. Come on down. Bring him back. Look, I'm rooting for Jake Bates. He really kicked the ball so well at Ford Field this year. And I know it's the UFL, and I know there's 9,000 fans in the stands, but there's still something about the snap, the hold, the kick, guys rushing at you. But the Lions are going to make a move pretty soon. They're going to bring a bunch of people in to work out, and we'll see where this heads. But right now, most teams are carrying 2 or 3 kickers, having competitions. There will be kickers available. Like Greg Joseph right now, I think, is in Green Bay, fighting for the job with Carlson and others. Like, there's guys all over or maybe Greg Joseph's in Chicago. There's going to be kickers available. There's no need to panic today. There will be kickers available. You could pick up a kicker the week before the first game, and he could be your guy. The Lions have done that before. So, sad for Michael Badgley. Dan Campbell said today he was working hard and was looking good. They're working on his range for this season, but he tears his hamstring, and he is now done for the year. All right, some day 3 observations, including a Locked On Lions favorite proclaiming that he is not going to be losing his job and that he's going to be getting playing time. We will explain coming up right here on a Friday. Locked On Lions. Ian Eagle next week on Tuesday. Jason Ross in a couple of weeks, the preseason voice of the Lions. We're going to load you up with some great guests coming up the next couple of weeks right here on Locked On Lions. And Locked On Lions brought to you by eBay Motors. Passion, drive, and patience. The formula for winning championships is also what keeps your ride or die alive. eBay Motors has everything you need to maintain your vehicle and level it up to peak performance. Superchargers, roof racks, exhaust kits, LED headlights, and more. Whether you're into speed, power, or style, eBay Motors has you covered. With over 122 million parts for your number one ride or die, you'll always find exactly what you're looking for. And with eBay Guaranteed Fit, your part is guaranteed to fit your ride every time or your money back. Because with eBay Motors, you're burning rubber, not cash. With all the parts you need at the prices you want, it's easy to make your car the MVP and bring home huge wins. Keep your ride or die alive at ebaymotors.com. Eligible items only. Exclusions apply. eBay Guaranteed Fit only. Available to U.S. customers. All right, back on Locked On Lions, right here on the Locked On Podcast Network, your team every day. Thanks for making us your first listen. Checking us out wherever you get your podcasts. Appreciate all of you that check us out, watch us every day. And, we love it. We absolutely love your participation and your viewership or listenership right here on Locked On Lions. Got to give a shout out, by the way, to a friend of ours, former member of the Lions organization, Matt Barnhart. We love Matt. Matt's a great dude. Matt is running for the Woodhaven Brownstown School District School Board. So if you live in Brownstown or Woodhaven and you're a part of that voting scene come, I assume, November, please vote for Matt Barnhart. A great dude, cares about the kids, has kids in that school district, and would love to help out and make it a better place when it comes to the school board. So we endorse on this program Matt Barnhart. I will say this, and then I'm going to be done. Yesterday was the last time that I bring up anything that is even towing the line of anything not football related, if you know what I mean. I talked about Hulk Hogan yesterday, and I'm done. I'm not doing it anymore. I've learned my lesson, and I'm going to stick to football and talking about football and stuff. Sometimes we talk about other sports and all of that, but I'm going to stay out of that other realm. So just promoting Matt today because he's a friend and somebody that worked for the Lions. So there you go. All right, some day 3 observations today at training camp. First and foremost, Jamison Williams and Brian Branch were not in attendance today, absent from practice, but it was excused absences for personal reasons, according to the team. Also, today, Hendon Hooker took most of the second team reps at quarterback, and Nate Sudfeld was with the third team. Hendon Hooker is getting better every day. His first few throws on Wednesday was rough. And then he got better as the practices wore on. But from all indications, Hendon Hooker continues to be, progressing. Now, again, if the season started today, I think Nate Sudfeld would be on the team. I think he would be the backup. I'm not sure Hendon Hooker is ready yet to be the backup quarterback. Like game 1, if Jared Goff gets hurt, knock on wood, who would they put in? I think they would go with the veteran. Again, we've got to see some game action. Last year in the preseason, albeit the games don't matter, but Nate Sudfeld, before he got hurt, was atrocious. So we'll see when the Lions play the Giants, the Chiefs. Is it the Chiefs? Yeah, the Giants, the Chiefs, and the Steelers, how that all shapes up. But right now, Hendon Hooker continues to get better each and every day. So that is good. The progress from what we're hearing, is getting there. So that is very, very good. And we love hearing that for sure. Also, Craig Reynolds has looked good so far. Come on, Craig. We love Craig Reynolds. When Craig Reynolds does something well, my Twitter feed at Derry Speaks just blows up with come on, Craig. Justin Rogers had an interesting piece. By the way, subscribe and read Justin at DetroitFootball.net. We had Justin Rogers on earlier this week. Justin left the Detroit News to start his own venture, DetroitFootball.net. Today, by the way, congratulations to our buddy. He was just on the pod last month, Nolan Bianchi. Nolan was named the new beat writer at the Detroit News. Nolan was the number 2 writer at the News for the Lions, and Nolan now gets elevated to the number 1 spot. So former Locked On Red Wings host Nolan Bianchi, now the Lions beat writer. We're my beat writers for the Detroit News. So congrats to Nolan on that. But Justin wrote a really good, interesting piece about Craig Reynolds and how hard he's worked and how spry he's looked so far first 3 days of camp. Think about Craig Reynolds for a sec. Lions have Jahmyr Gibbs. Lions have David Montgomery. Those guys are going to be on the field a lot. Then they go out and they draft Sione Vaki, move up to get him. And he gets announced at the draft as a running back, even though he only played 2 games in college at the running back position at Utah. He was a safety. Running backs all got hurt there. They moved him over. He did well. And the Lions have all said, we love Vaki. We love his versatility, special teams, offense, defense. So with Bam Knight also in camp, the former Jet, really the guy that's not been talked about much is Craig Reynolds, who seemingly every year has to earn his spot on the team. If you recall last year, from a contractual standpoint, the Lions had some revamping to do with their roster on final cutdown day. Craig Reynolds got released, then was brought back. So come on, Craig is working hard to try to keep his spot. And so far, he has looked good. So you love seeing that. That's the kind of stuff that, makes you happy to see, because Craig Reynolds is such a good guy, wants to be here, came on the show last year and was awesome. And we love him. And he's kind of our guy here on Locked On Lions. I want to bring this up before we do one more read and then talk about these 5 bold predictions that I saw today. One of them I don't think is that bold, but I'm going to ask you, the audience, that. But today, Jerry Jacobs, last year got hurt, also did not play well when he was healthy. Jerry Jacobs has been unemployed. The former Lions cornerback who started 29 games over the last 3 years, played in 40 games, 4 interceptions, benched last year, got hurt last year, and then you knew it was not going to come back this year with all the additions that the Lions made at corner with Davis and Arnold, Robertson, Rakestraw, etc. Jacobs visited a lot of teams recently, but had not signed until today, where the Los Angeles Rams have picked up Jerry Jacobs. Rams lost Darion Kendrick, one of their cornerbacks, to a torn ACL the other day. And so now Rams are looking for corners, and they go out and they get Jerry Jacobs. Jacobs posted on Twitter yesterday, got to have patience, Jerry. It's coming, with some prayer hands. Let me just say something about Jerry Jacobs. When the Lions win the Super Bowl or go to the Super Bowl or whatever it is, maybe this year, maybe next year, whatever it is, and you look back on the Brad Holmes, Dan Campbell era, and you talk about this era of Sheila Ball and everything else, a guy that likely won't get mentioned but should is Jerry Jacobs. He played 3 years here. He was an undrafted rookie, free agent, that kind of embodied what the Lions have been the last few years. Underdog, undersized, probably not the most talented guy, but he worked so hard. He was on the field. And yes, he's not a great player. All right, he's probably an average player at corner. But Jerry Jacobs did everything this organization asked of him. 29 starts for a UDFA is pretty good in this league. And, at one point it was like him and Bobby Price. Do you remember this? And it's like, who are these guys? They won 3 football games. But you know what? The next year they won 9. And there were times that Jerry Jacobs was just played really well. And it's unfortunate that last year in year 3, he struggled so much that basically he was benched and you never saw him again. And it was difficult to watch when they put him back on the field because he just couldn't do it. I think it was the Chicago game where the Bears just destroyed him. And that was it, even going into the playoffs last year. But I want to give a little love to Jerry Jacobs. I just think he had a really, really good 3 years here. Got better every year, regressed last year, but you know what I mean? He battled and he embodied what this organization was about. And I wish him the best of luck with the Rams. We're going to see Jerry Jacobs' first game back in the NFL after being kind of kicked to the curb by the Lions last year is at Ford Field, because on Sunday night, September 8th, Jacobs will be out there for the Rams against the Lions. Kind of some irony there, but I still think it's pretty cool. All right. I read a story off of MSN today, 5 bold predictions for the NFC North. And there's one that involves the Lions that might not be so bold. And I will explain that coming up right here on Locked On Lions on the Locked On Podcast Network. Hey, told you a little bit about our friends at LinkedIn Jobs. When you're hiring for your small business, you want to find quality professionals that are right for the role. That's why you have to check out LinkedIn Jobs. LinkedIn Jobs has the tools to help find the right professionals for your team faster and for free. All right. I've posted on LinkedIn Jobs. We're looking to hire a financial advisor at Financial Architects where I work. You post it on LinkedIn Jobs. You have that hiring frame around your picture, and all is well with the world. You get some really good and quality candidates. LinkedIn isn't just a job board. LinkedIn helps you hire professionals you can't find anywhere else. Even those who aren't actively searching for a new job might be open for the perfect role. In a given month, over 70% of LinkedIn users don't visit other leading job sites. So if you're not looking on LinkedIn, you're looking at the wrong place. LinkedIn is awesome. Post your job for free at linkedin.com/LockedOnNFL. That's linkedin.com/LockedOnNFL to post your job for free. Terms and conditions apply. All right, so I saw a story online today. By the way, thanks to all of you for your voicemail submissions. We'll do another call of the day on Monday. That is speakpipe.com/dairy podcast page. 5 bold predictions that were written by a guy named Shane Mickle, who writes for the NFL Analysis Network. 5 bold predictions for the NFC North. And I thought this was a cool story and I wanted to share it. Number 1, bold predictions. J.J. McCarthy doesn't start a game in Minnesota. Sam Darnold has had a really good camp so far. They also have Nick Mullins. Pretty bold that you take a guy in the first round, a quarterback, top 15, does not even start a game. That's a bold prediction. Chicago Bears make the playoffs. Only made the playoffs 3 times since 2006. That would be bold, but many feel the Bears are a playoff team, including USA Today. Another bold prediction. Luke Musgrave finishes top 5 in tight end receiving yards. Second-year guy for Green Bay. Really good football player last year. 34 catches, 352 yards, and a touchdown. We'll get more of a look this year. Bold prediction that he's top 5 in tight end receiving yards? Maybe. N'Keal Harry leads the Vikings tight ends. Hawkinson coming back from a torn ACL. And could it be that N'Keal Harry, ex-wide receiver, is kind of a bust other places, now in Minnesota, has bulked up to be a tight end? Another bold prediction that he would be the Vikings' best tight end this year. And the final bold prediction here on MSN, Lions win the Super Bowl. Now, here's my question. Is that bold of a prediction? The Lions are a top 4 or 5 team in this league. The Lions are picked by a lot of people to win 12, 13 games again, win the division, all of that. Yes, I get it. It's the Lions. They've never been to the Super Bowl. They haven't won a championship since 1957. But I'll read you what it says. Quote, maybe it's not all that bold after the season the Lions had last year, but this really feels like the year they can get over the hump. Lions offense is talented, and Jared Goff has proven that he can win during the playoffs. Defense at times last year was inconsistent, but the offense made up for it. End quote. That is from Shane Mickle. A lot of bold predictions in there, but I don't think it's that bold to say the Lions are going to win the Super Bowl. Am I picking them to do it? No. Do I think they can make it? Yes. Especially in the NFC right now that features distraction central in Dallas, San Francisco, Green Bay. Those are the other team. You know, a lot of people are on the Atlanta bandwagon. I'm not ready to crown the Falcons yet. They're much better with Kirk Cousins, but I'm not ready to go there yet. You know, Tampa's good. I think the Rams are going to be good. But to me, the top top teams are, and Philly too has distractions. But we're in a time right now in 2024 here in July, talking during training camp, that it's not that bold to say the Lions are going to win the Super Bowl. It's not. The Lions were 30 minutes away last year from getting to the Super Bowl, had a big lead, and would have played a team they already beat in Kansas City. Now, again, you got to play the game and everything else, but do you think it's a bold prediction to say they're going to win the Super Bowl? Or do you expect that they can? That's two different things there. Two different arguments. I don't think it's that bold. But I could also see Lion fans saying, oh my gosh, just if we got there, the tears of joy, the party for 2 weeks that there would be in this town if the Lions were going to the Super Bowl would be unmatched at anything that we've seen, or at least I've seen since I moved here in 1996. And I've been here for Red Wing championships, Michigan football, MSU hoops, Pistons, obviously, the going to work team in 04, Tigers in the World Series a couple times. So that would be pretty crazy. All right. Great week of Locked On Lions. If you missed Justin Rogers early in the week, go back and watch that. I mentioned before, CBS is Ian Eagle next week. We're going to get Jason Ross on here as well. He's the TV voice of the Lions in the preseason. Other guests as well. Thanks for making us your first listen. Checking us out wherever you get your podcasts. Shout out to our everydayers as well. And we'll see you again on Monday.